So as you check out the waiver, I just want to give you a little heads up about what our bar workout today is going to be. We are going to work through a warm-up and then try to accomplish 30 exercises in 30 minutes, meaning we will spend about 40 to 45 seconds on each exercise and then have a few seconds to transition to the next. So it'll be a nice, hearty workout that goes by quickly. We'll attempt to work the major muscle groups and also have a few little opportunities to get the heart rate up. Okay, so we're gonna start standing near the chair, if you can do that. You have some fun music that you wanna put on, of course, feel free. All righty. So stand with the chair on your right side if you can. I have a little stool for now, but I have my sturdy chair for later. And put the feet together and then just start breathing. So inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, release tension where you don't need it and feel grounded into the floor. And then we'll add some movement. On the next inhale, we're gonna breathe the arm up and gaze up, and then exhale, press down through the heel of the hand. Two more like that. Inhale, breathe up, gaze up, exhale, press down. So keep it really active. One more. Inhale, gaze up, breathe up. Exhale, press down, out from the shoulder. Little shoulder circles here. Really try to move from the back body. So stretch through that heel and imagine your arm bone just sort of circling around in its socket and then change the direction. Good. For 3, 2, 1. Keep reaching through this arm. Lift the elbow and drop the shoulder. Little releves here. So lift up and down. Find that breath. Exhaling to lift the pelvic floor as well for 4 and 3, for 2 and 1. Now we'll hold this one up. Little side bends and lifts. So inhale over, exhale, lift. Move through the arm, but also the rib cage. Last 2 as you hold on to this releve. Last 1. And then gently release. Take your feet a little further apart, about hip distance apart. We'll relax the arm on the hip now. Inhale, lift the heels and roll them together to place them down. Exhale, lift and bring them back to parallel. So inhale, tap, exhale, tap. And really try to find these 2 shapes. The first position and then that nice parallel. Yes, that's it, guys. Inhale and exhale. Waking up the ankle joints, calf muscles, even the quads and glutes a little bit. One more time, and then we'll land in that first position. Stay here. Let's stretch the arm up overhead again and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Step out to your second position. We're gonna slide into a plie and side bend again. So inhale down, exhale up and over. Really stretch out of the waist. Try to drop your tail and squeeze your inner thighs. For 3 and 2. Last 1. Beautiful. And then we're gonna turn around to the other side. Swivel around if you need to. Gorgeous. We'll start in parallel once more. Inhale, we'll breathe the arm up. Exhale, we'll pull down through the heel of the hand. Inhale, sweep up, gaze up. Exhale, pull down. One more time, sweep up, gaze up. Pull down and out from the shoulder. Those little shoulder circles. 3, through the heel of the hand, 2. Last 1, and then reverse. Good. Try not to feel a lot of lift at the top of the shoulder. Sort of stir the bones around in the socket. 3, 2, 1. Now leave the elbow lifted, but drop the shoulder. Little lifts up and down. For 5, for 4, for 3. Here's 2. Last 1. Now split those feet apart. Inhale, lift, tap heels together. Exhale, lift, find your parallel. Inhale, exhale. Really stretch through your fingertips. Good. Last 2. Last 1 here. Beautiful. Side bend and lift up. Side bend and lift up. Hopefully this feels nice. Breathe breath into it. Last 2. Last 1. Gorgeous job. We're gonna lift up here, bring the hands down by the hips, and just pulse up. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower down, step to your second. We'll bend into the legs and side bend up and over. So now we're waking up the bigger joints, the hip joints, the knee joints. Be mindful of your tail. Let it lead. And just let the arm follow the spine. Last 3 and 2. Last one. Beautiful job. Turn and face your bar. So if you need to put it in front of you, that's fine. Good. Let's step that right leg back. We're going to breathe the right arm overhead. Twist open. We're not going to pull around with the knee at all. We're going to keep it long and just rotate the ribs a little more. Last 3 and 2. Make sure to breathe. Last 1. Beautiful. Step the feet together. Releve, slide down that wall and add some little tail tuck. Lovely. Use your breath. For 5 and 4. Really roll through the hips. Last 3 and 2. Last 1. Land the heels and walk back till you find a flat back. Nice wide hands here. Shift from shoulder blade to shoulder blade. Your tail isn't really moved. Just picking up the ribs and placing them down to open the backs of the arms. For 4 and 3. Here's 2. Last 1. Beautiful. Opposite leg back. We're going to reach the arm up in the air and sweep it behind us. Don't let that front knee roll in at all. Just really stretch through the spine. Find your breath for 4 and 3. Last 2. Last 1. Come back to center. Make sure you have a little room ahead of you. You're going to come down over the legs. We're going to bend into the right knee, keeping the left leg kind of straight, and look up over that right shoulder. And then switch. And switch. Last one, switch. And roll up through the spine. Last little warm up, step nice and wide in your second position. And we'll just side lunge side to side. Keeping the heart lifted, the gaze lifted, feeling into the outside edges of the feet, and hugging the belly in. Good, for 4 and 3. Last 2. Last 1. Beautiful job. Slide everything to first. Bring your hands behind your back, clasp your fingers together. Reach the knuckles for the floor. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the heart. Tail draws down. For 4 and 3. Maybe slight gaze up. Last 2 and 1. Good. Maybe just give yourself little hugs before we get started. Hopefully you feel a little warmer. Once we start, we're really going to move, so expect quick transitions. But when we're working, work at your own pace, right? Safety and form before everything else. All right, gorgeous. So we're actually going to start on the mat, seated. You may want to wait nearby. So we're going to work in these little blocks. Our first block has to do with abdominal strength. So we're going to work on that. All right. So you're going to sit up nice and tall. Take your right knee and hug it in toward your chest. Stand on that foot. Turn that left leg out and sweep it open and closed. Here you go. And pull in. So we don't want to let those hip flexors bully us around. So I want you to imagine the heel sweeping out from the pelvic floor. Good. And we want to avoid swinging, right? So we hug the knee to sit up nice and tall. You could even hug behind the thigh. We turn the hip out, the working hip out. So we're linear on that stabilizing side. And then the heel really drags in. Maybe get the inner thighs and the outer thighs involved a little bit here too. You're almost there. Breathe. Hug the belly in. Last 2. Last 1. Release your legs long ahead of you and shake them out. We're going to get ready for the other side. So we'll gather that left leg in. We'll hug it in. Feel the sitting bones even. Push out to that right heel. Turn out at the hip and start to sweep. You might find one side feels a lot more in control. Remember, we always have a side of the body that tends to favor stability, and then a side of the body that tends to favor mobility. So it's not, I don't like when people refer to it as, oh, my good side or my bad side. It's really just the sides of the body that work differently for us. All right, again, don't let that hip flexor take over. Remember, take a break if you need to. Commit to sitting tall in the posture. We're almost there. And the breath, always the breath. Try not to let this leg pull you into rotation. Last two. Last one, release. Nice job. All right, we're gonna get right into planking. So come on over into your hands and knees. This can be done with tucked toes or extended legs. You can have knees down or not. So try it with your knees bent first. Push into the ground, hover your knees, and then shoulder tap. Good. Keep going. And we want to really keep the knees below the hips and try not to shimmy side to side. So it's really in the controlling that we find strength here. Now, could you do this with long legs? Absolutely. But same rules apply. You wouldn't want to shift around too much. Use your breath and use your obliques. Use the connection of ribs to hips to keep you stable. Ask yourself if your legs are getting lazy, whether they're long or bent. Trust the shoulders. And hug the navel up to the spine. One more second, and you're done. Grab a weight. We're gonna come on down to the mat for a weighted double leg stretch. So find your strong imprint. Legs up in the air. Head can be up or down. We're gonna reach the weight over the shins. Stretch everything long. Inhale here. Good. Make sure the ears only come to frame the only come to frame the ears. Reach long. Gorgeous. And remember, this works with the spine down. What you want is a solid center, and then the legs and arms to move safely and freely out from the center. Almost there. Use your breath. Feel the legs shooting out from the abs. Last 2 seconds. Last one. Put the feet down and rest. So here's our opportunity to get the heart rate up a little bit. We're going to come into 100 position. And instead of flapping the arms, we're going to tap the heels. So legs in the air. Press out through your heels. You're turned out. Curl your head up and tap. So little penguin feet. Now your arms can reach by your sides. They could come to gently support the neck. If your head is down, your arms can be down or even under your hips. So practice some staccato breathing. That's it. Really press to the heels and activate the inner thighs. Hug the whole abdominal panel in. And breathe. We've got a quick transition up to stand after this. We're gonna come up to the chair and grab our sliding device if you have one. All right. So come behind your bar, grab your glider. We're gonna place it under that left foot. In turnout. So we're gonna curtsy back and stand. Curtsy back and stand. I'll use the bar on the side of me so you can see what I'm doing. So, does this work without a slider? Absolutely. If you're sliding though, you're gonna ask for a lot of control. Beautiful. In there, really lift tall when you come to stand. Make sure your standing leg has knees that are reaching out toward the toes, right? Everything's turned out. Breathe and take it at your own pace. Keep lifted in the spine. Maybe you want a fancy arm. You know me, I'm so fancy. Last one, release. Gorgeous. This time we're gonna come to parallel. Don't worry, we'll get to the other side. Actually, you don't need a chair for this one. We're gonna squat back and lift to releve. So it looks like this, squat, press, and lift off the ground. Sit back, gather everything about you and lift all the way up. Good, so there's control. We need to control so that we don't go tumbling forward as you lift up, right? We sit back heavy in the heels. We activate away from the floor. Now ask yourself, could you pause in both shapes or does it feel unsafe? Use hand on a bar if you need it. Sit back, stand tall. Just a light little prop up might help you. Sit it back, raise it up. Sit it back, feel the weight shift. Back, 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 and then lift it. Almost there. Gorgeous. I'm gonna come to the other side. So we'll turn the toes out again. This time it's the right leg that's gonna slide behind to curtsy and slide out to tap. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the pelvic floor. Slide and tap. Make sure you started in a V. Inhale, inhale. Good, now, the tempo's up to you. You could be moving quickly. You could be moving slowly. Try not to bow though, right? No royalty in this room. Just a bunch of strong, funny, beautiful women. Inhale, exhale. Feel the real difference in the leg. Let it lengthen and then bend both knees evenly. You're almost there. The next one, we don't need a slider for, so you can kick it away. We're gonna come to a little V. I'll show it to you like this. We're gonna lift up, toes apart, heels together. We're gonna squeeze the heels together, drop into a little plie, and then we're just gonna move 1 inch down, 1 inch up. We're gonna really squeeze those heels. And a lot of times I say an inch and people are moving all around. So keep the tail down, squeeze those heels, and small, it's a little pulse, down and up, with a little bit of breath. So we want to sort of stay in it. The legs never fully extend, right? Which makes it challenging, I'm not gonna lie. Make sure you're squeezing everything to the midline. So your heels squeeze together, your glutes squeeze together. Release. We're gonna take a weight, or if you have a kettlebell, this works great too. We're gonna come to a little parallel. We're gonna swing back and squeeze the glutes to lift forward, like this. So it's not a tremendous move and the low back doesn't get to do this. Go for it, sit back, squeeze up. So because this is small, it's a chance to get the heart rate up. Make sure you're sitting back and then squeezing everything to lift. Sitting back, squeezing quads, hamstrings, glutes, low back strength is involved here too. The arms just dangle. Sort of along for the ride. Could you do this without weights? Yes. Almost there. Then we're gonna get into the arms. 3, 2, grab 2 weights. Ah, so nice to rest. We're gonna do some weighted circles. So find a long tail. Find a supported belly. Weights start palms up, and we sweep overhead and pull back down. So we want to avoid this, right? We don't want to lose our neck. So grow your wings. If coming up overhead isn't right for you, imagine sort of a steering wheel. But either way, the palms are up, then the palms are down. Exhale as you come up, inhale down. Breathe. I hope you guys have some great music on that's getting you through. You're almost there. Raise from your back body. Use your lats. Feel the rotation in the shoulders. This is also good for mobility. Gorgeous. We only need 1 weight for this. We're gonna come into a little chair. So we're gonna be sitting back and the arm's gonna come out to the side, other arm the hip. We're gonna squeeze the shoulder to the spine. And if you wish, you can lift the heels at the same time. So maybe having a little something to lean against wouldn't hurt. So this isn't huge, right? It's taking the muscle to the mid-back and drawing the shoulder blade to the spine. That releve is just bonus work, so don't feel like you have to do it. Remember, we're only working on one side now. You start to feel this in your neck, take a break. Slide that weight down, and remember to keep it behind you a little. Almost there. Last 3, 2, 1. Release and shake it out. And go on to the other side. You like having that little support? Walk around to the other side, bring it with you. So don't throw away that little squat, right? Belly is lifted. Little hug a tree arm. Draw the shoulder to the spine. This is one I wouldn't recommend moving really quickly through. And if you're doing that releve, make sure your knees are reaching toward the pinky toe. Your weight still stays sort of back. You're not shooting forward over the knees. Little lightning bolt shape. Good. That's it. So be really aware of your shoulder into your spine. Keep lifting that navel. You got this. Chest expansion. Might even feel like a stretch for the chest. And release. One weight in each hand. If you didn't have weights, you could use a band for this. We are going to get to the band work in a minute. We'll even be sitting. It'll feel so nice. So let's step the left leg back. We're going to curl forward, lift up. Curl and lift. So we're combining a bicep curl with a tricep press. Pulling in, pressing up. It's another one that's not really quick. Really moving through the air with care. Pull in, press up. So there's a pull, a release, a lift, and a lower. I like the exhale for the tricep lift. I find my biceps are stronger. So I need the exhale behind me. But you do what you want, just breathe. Almost there. Don't let momentum take over. No swinging involved. And release. All right, so we've got one more to get the heart rate up a little. We're gonna hold those weights in the hands and imagine they're huge, heavy battle ropes. So you've done this before, most of you. We're gonna sit back into a wide squat and pull the ropes toward us. Now, some people prefer pushing. I love the pull, and really that's more of the motion of the rope that you would use if you were using a real heavy rope. Keep your heart lifted, your sternum lifted. Now, are your abs involved? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's my mom joke of the day. Now, if you really want to reverse the direction, go ahead. But don't let it get ahead of you. Don't let it feel like the weights are in control. Control out from the center. And of course, the arms are working hard. And release. You're halfway. So we're going to take a tiny break to get some water. Little towel off if you're damp. And I'm going to switch over to my chair with a seat for some seated work. Okay, so this, if you have a band now, we're going to use it. We're going to sit on it, pretty equal on the sides. But if you don't have a band, fear not. The weights will work for you. Okay. So we're just going to sit at the front edge of the chair on the band. We're going to gather the band up on the left side. And we're going to turn the ribs slightly to the left. And then using the obliques, we're going to drag the band across the body, not moving the hips at all, and releasing. So if your legs are wiggle wobbling, maybe squeeze a yoga block or a pillow between the legs. If you have no band, 1 or 2 weights will do. You're starting over to the right, dragging across to the left. Because we are going to do both sides. All right, so work through that. Make sure your knuckles stay in front of your heart. So the work comes from the midsection, not from the shoulders, not from the hips. Gaze out over that horizon. Almost there. The exhale really helps here. And release. We're going to get ready for the other side. If you found things getting kind of tense, just take this moment to roll back and down and create some space. Now we gather up to the right. So you want to start with just a little tension, turning toward the right, and then pulling from the left side body across. Now, if you've got a band, you're in charge of the tension. So if it feels like too much, give yourself some slack. If it feels like not enough, choke up a little. Find it's very easy for my gaze to come down here, like I want to see what my fancy body is doing. Not necessary here. Gaze on the horizon. Keep that nice circle. Imagine you have a fitness ring between your sternum and your hands. And really drag across. Almost there. Doesn't it feel nice to sit? Awesome. Release that band. We'll come back to a weight. So for this one, we're going to really be in the front. We're going to tuck the tail and perhaps hover the legs. Of course, you could put them down for little rainbows. So weight up overhead. We'll pull the weight down in one hand and switch. So I know you guys have done this before. If you want to feel like you're in that J shape of spine, if your tailbone isn't happy here, do it seated. It still work. Might just take a little of the work out of the abs and put it into the arms. That's okay though. So draw the elbows down, pull. That's it. You got this. Let every breath draw your abdominals into effective work. Lovely. Keep breathing. And we have a hold coming up after this. I don't know how you feel about that, good or bad. But we're going to come around to the seat of the chair for an elbow plank hold. So, if you like some cushy stuff here, go for it. We're going to bring the elbows down and just settle in. Stay and breathe. And enjoy the work that the abdominals are doing here. Did I really just say enjoy? Yes, I am a Pilates teacher. I do enjoy the abdominal work. So hopefully you'll enjoy being off of your wrists, because the next one we're going to be on the wrists, working a little faster. So if your low back starts to droop, or you feel like your shoulders can't take it anymore, just take a break. Reorganize yourself, and then come back to it stronger than ever. It's a great time to practice really breathing strength into the shoulders. And break. Okay, so our next set is a mountain climber. It's the chance to get the heart rate up. I love doing these elevated because you have lots of space to pull your knee into your shoulder or your belly. And here you can move fast or slow. So step it on back so it can look like this. Or a little faster. But we want to keep that plank shape. So we don't want to lift the hips in order to get things moving. This is why I said sturdy chair. And of course, if you're moving quickly, your heart rate will come up. But you can always slow it down. You want to feel in control. Feel that pelvic floor helping you to drive the knees in. Lots of trusting weight from the shoulders down through the wrists. Almost there. 2, 1. Beautiful. All right. Little transition over to a flat back for some gluteal work. So here, we're going to come in a long spine. We're going to lift that right leg. We're going to lift it up and down, turn it out, and square. Up, down, out, square. Up, down, out, square. Open. Push, open. So this is where we find out about hip mobility and whether or not the hips are really locked into the pelvis. Because the whole pelvis shouldn't move just to turn the femur bone out. Push down into your right hand so you stay square in the shoulders. Ears are between the arms. Of course, you could always be a little closer and rest that head. All right, get ready for the other side. So we want to keep abs lifted, ribs integrated, shoulders alive, support leg bent just a little bit. Start with square hips. And on the other side, we lift up and down, turn open and close. I have a flexed ankle here, just so that it keeps the leg alive. Now remember, we're always talking about where the movement initiates from. So all of the gluteal muscles here, not in the low back, not from the belly hip flexors, little squeezes and rotations that come from the glutes. Such an important muscle group to be able to recruit. Often an underutilized one. We're almost there. Keep breathing your way through it. You're doing really well. And release. Shake that out. Gorgeous. All right. So we've got the chair near us. We're going to get ready to some bigger movements. So we're going to come to second. Light hand on the chair. We'll sit to plie. We'll sweep, cross in front, and releve. So inhale, everything up, including the heels. Heels lift here. Good. Now, the only thing that doesn't lift is the shoulder to the ear. So this is a lot of inner thigh activation. And try not to shoot the hip out, right? We want to find a real true plie with the back sliding down the wall. And then a lot of lift. Could you do this without the releve? Sure. Could you do this with a slider? Sure. Now you got to be really in control. Unlike me. There we go. Other side. I'm doing a lot of swiveling. You might not need to. All right. I'm going to start in that second. Arm is loose. Slide down the wall. Make sure you have a good space away from the bar. Slide and lift. Inhale, exhale. So the slider is tough because if you go too far here, you're likely to pull a muscle. So only use that slider if you really feel you're in control. Good. Remember, even plie, slide and lift. Even plie, slide and lift. I'm going to try that slider. It's also easy with the slider to, again, shift. We don't want that. Slide down. Lift up. Almost there. All right. Release that slider if you have it. One chance to get the heart rate up a little. We're going to step the legs nice and wide. Sit back to a squat. I'm going to have the toes turned out a little. Hands on the thighs. And we're going to lift the tail up and back. These are quick. So don't hyperventilate, but breathe. Feel a lot of work coming to the hamstrings. Press your four corners of your feet into the mat. Lift up and back. So keep the weight primarily in the heels. You'll also start to feel your quadriceps kick in here. Doing really well, guys. We only have one block left after this. So that's what? 5 more exercises. Totally doable. Breathe. And release. All right, we're coming back to that sturdy chair. We're gonna do some tricep dips. If tricep dips are too much for your wrists, then feel free to take a weight overhead and do some tricep presses. Otherwise, we're gonna come forward off the chair, opening the heart, keeping the tush kind of close to the seat, bending the elbows and pushing up. So it's not a hip thrust, woohoo! Right? Elbows back, press up. Think of bending the arms to go down. Good. Now variations on this. As I said, you don't need to do this. You can sit up and do presses. I also love this on the mat. A little lean and a press. This is a little less weight bearing on the wrists. So this is available to you. Also hold a front plank. Gorgeous. Did I distract you enough? All right, grab those weights. If you're not on your chair, come up and sit. I think like a little seated work, right? We're gonna do the offering. So I'm gonna sweep up, open out from the shoulders, draw back in front of the shoulders, pull back in with the elbows. So inhale, exhale. Good, so it's really easy to move too big here and kind of jut and swing. No motivation, excuse me, no momentum involved. Lots of motivation, no momentum. We'll sweep up, pull the shoulders together, come back in front and sweep down. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Don't let your ribs go, right here, pull your ribs down. Keep those shoulders down. Last three about, depending on your pace. Oh, maybe last one. So sad. All right, so we're gonna get right into the bicep muscles here for some bicep pulses. So you've got a good amount of time for it. Roll the shoulders back and down. Hug the belly in, turn the elbows out, and pull in. So you're gonna stay right in the mid-range. Now, if this isn't enough for you, you could do little sweeps as well, which I find, as long as my shoulders are back and down, really get into my biceps. The second you start to round, though, we really lose that connection. So either here or here, your choice, or a combination, maybe 1, 2, 1, 2. Who said you don't get choices? Pulling in, sweeping out. You only got 5 minutes left. And then we're coming down to the mat for the last time. If you have a slider, it would help you now. Push-ups. So this is a long time for push-ups. So you're gonna really move at your own pace and with your own form. We're gonna get the hips down in line with the spine. We'll slide out and come up. Switch sides. Slide out and come up. Now, what does this look like without a slider? Out and down, in, out and down. Good. So although you're sliding one arm further out, it doesn't mean that one arm bends less than the other, right? Either way, we're equally bending the arms and sending the chest toward the mat. Now, you want to make sure you're not living here, right? This is more of like a puppy for yoga, more of a stretch. Here's where you want to be, right? As you come out and down and the other way. Rest. Oh, you're almost there. Can you believe it? It's your last exercise. Last chance to get the heart rate up. So we're going to come into elbow plank one more time. Stretch those legs long and double pump the knees. So yes, there's going to be a little up and down, but we don't want those hips sliding around side to side. We really feel like the back of the pelvis kind of level and tethered. Breathe. Hug the belly in so the hips don't hike up too high. You want to avoid this, right? Keep the weight through the shoulder line. You're almost there. Last big push. Boy, did this go by fast for me. I don't know about you. Almost there. You need a break, you take it. 3, 2, 1, rest. Woo! Beautiful job. All right, let's stretch a little bit. Bring the legs apart. Make a little shelf for the head. Bend those knees and windshield wiper those legs. Well, that was like a quick trip on the Barre Express. Great job, guys. Little windshield wipers. And then stretch that left leg behind you. Bring the right leg out from your hip. Turn your face to the right. Just let the front of the hip melt down toward the mat. Oh. Start to slow down the heart rate. My heart rate certainly got up. I don't know about yours. One more breath here. And then stretch that leg behind you. Take that same leg in hand for a quadricep stretch. So make sure the inner thighs stay parallel. Open that top shoulder and gently encourage the hip that you just softened to continue to soften to the mat. One more breath. Your head can be down or lifted. And then gently release. All right, let's take that opposite leg, that left leg out from the hip and lay down. There you go. Breathe. Soften. You'll find if you have tight hips that one side really wants to pop up. So play with how far away or close your leg is. And let gravity do some work for you. And then we're going to take that same leg, stretch it behind us, and use the same arm to reach back and grab it. Again, parallel femurs. Open the shoulder and soften the hip toward the mat. Big, long breaths in and out. Gently release. Split both feet, let the heels roll in. Take the arms like goalposts out from the shoulders. Inhale, roll the shoulders back and down, stretch the heart forward, and just come to a little lift where you still feel your ribs on the mat. One more breath here. And then press into the palms if you want to lift into full extension. Hug the belly in, soften the glutes. Widen the collarbones. Try to let everything roll forward. One more breath here. And then gently lower to the mat. Bring the legs together. Hands under the shoulders. Belly up and back. Child's pose. Nice breaths here. No movement's always encouraged. One more inhale and exhale. And then gently release. Let's step that left leg forward into lunge. Bring the left arm across the chest. So it looks like this. Got my dress. One more breath here. Back to those fingers. And gently release for the other side. Go into that lunge. Same arm as leg stretches across. Lots of energy, efforting between shoulder, away from hand. One more breath here. And then gently release. Onto hands and knees. One big cat stretch. Oh. And then back to neutral. Take that left leg behind you. Cross it behind the right. Push into the heel. And look back toward the right. Making sure your back doesn't arch. So a lot of energy. Stretch out the calf muscles. Come back to center. Reestablish that neutral pelvis. Right leg comes behind and crosses, tucking into the toes, pushing into the heels, gaze left. A lateral bend. One more breath here. Back through center. Tuck those toes, hover those knees, and press your way up and back to downward facing dog. A few more pedals through the heels if you feel you need them. And then walk the hands back and roll up through the spine. We're going to finish with some standing stretches. So you can use the seat of your chair. You could use a couch. You could use a windowsill. I'm going to use my little stool here. I find this is the right height for me. So I'm going to face the stool. We've done this before. Sort of square. And then place my left foot on top. So I make a little L shape. I can bend that support leg as much as I need to. Left arm comes up in the air and I twist away from it. but stretching. So this is also a stretch for my mid-back. Opening the rib cage into rotation. And then breathing the arm up, bending one or both knees to stretch along over the leg. And you can forward fold if that's right for your spine, but I find really stretching my heart forward is nice. One more big breath here. And then gently release and switch sides. Actually, let's do a gluteal stretch before we leave. So take that left leg across the right knee, sit back into a figure 4 stretch. Weight back in the heels, chest lifted, tail long. Using hand if you need to encourage the leg wide, just not right on the knee joint. One more breath, really release the outside of that hip and stand up. All right, other side, so nice and square to start. In other words, you want to place your right foot straight in front of your right hip. Inhale that right arm up and then open through the rib cage. Away. Keep growing tall on your inhales, rotating on your exhales. Trying not to over effort through the arm. Inhale, lift up, turn, and then bring your heart towards your legs, bending your knees if you need to stretch behind the thigh into the hamstrings. And remembering you can round, or you can lift and reach your sitting bones away from your crown. One more breath here. And then we'll press into the standing leg. We'll take that lower leg off and place it across the opposite knee, sitting back into the heel, keeping the chest high and encouraging release of the back of the hip. Staying for maybe one more round of breath here. And then gently releasing. Coming to a second position, I'm going to turn out, slide down into that plie. We're going to drop the right arm inside the right thigh and side bend up and over to the right. Try not to round here. Try to keep the weight in the outsides of the feet, the knees rolling open, and the chest and shoulders stacked. And then lift up, go the other way. Left arm inside left thigh, side bend up and over. Hopefully this can help you really stretch into the QL. I love this one. One more big breath here. And then up to stand. Turn your toes forward and reach your tail behind you. Flat back stretch. You might be able to reach the floor. You can always leave your hands on your shins or your thighs, but you really want to feel like that back is nice and flat. One more deep breath in. And then hands come to the thighs. Tuck the tail under and round your way up. Slide your heels together. Sweep your arms up and overhead. Set the shoulders and turn the pinkies forward. Inhale to prepare. Exhale up to your final balance and hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Last inhale. Exhale, lower with care. Take your time. And then inhale to lift your heart. Amazing job, everyone. You did it.